We are here with Claudio Cerabolini. He's the partner and co-head for the real estate sector in Clifford Chance. Welcome, Claudio.
Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure to have you here. I don't know if you can talk a little bit more about your background, your expertise in Clifford Chance a bit, so we can see how it's going right now.
Absolutely. Well, my background is pretty long because I'm getting old. I've been for 25 years, more than 25 years, doing M&A activity as a lawyer and real estate. My main activity is assisting foreign investors investing into Italy and Europe in general. And I have the honor of co-heading the global real estate sector for Click4 Chance, which is a very important sector comprising many partners across the globe, spanning from the US to Australia and, of course, Europe, Asia, and focusing on all aspects of law, from tax structuring to financing deals to the M&A part, the diligence, the asset management, restructuring, and whatever you name.
Great to hear. We're going to start with the first question. How do you describe Italy's real estate market at this point, at this moment?
I think the market at this moment is very interesting, especially, I mean, data show that the first quarter of the year has been very good in terms of volume. There has been a huge leap by 129% as opposed to the same period last year. So Italy is attracting investors, also because it's a very, stable country as opposed to other, more unstable. We are used to, uncertainty. I mean, for us, uncertainty is something we got used during the years, and now it's a pretty stable country. And this attracts investment. There are many opportunities in Italy in several asset classes.
And talking about asset classes, which asset class do you think is going to be performing more this year or the next 3 years? And what asset class do you think the foreign or the investors should not look at this point or this moment in Italy right now?
I think when we speak about asset classes, it's very different from a few years ago. A few years ago, you could go and talk about asset classes, and you could only talk about two of them at each time. If you were talking about something else, you would sound as naive, someone who is not, going according to the trends. Now it's, I mean, the palette of asset classes the investors are looking at is wider. They are looking opportunistically almost all the asset classes. We have seen deals, spanning from bed and sheds to, offices to retail. I mean, everything. If I have to pick up a couple of asset classes that certainly are attracting, more investments in the Italian country at the moment, I would certainly go for hospitality and hotels in general, and data centers, so digital infrastructure. We see a lot of interest for those asset classes for different reasons. Hospitality, because Italy is a beautiful country. Tourism is an extremely interesting area. We are attracting people from all over the world, and the hotel sector is definitely increasing in terms of demands and offers services in the last few years. And data centers, because again, it's a growing sector worldwide. Italy has still a low number of non-obsolete and existing and functioning data centers, and therefore there is a lot of room for development of new assets.
And thinking about international capital, international investors, what do you think is the best challenge for them to being investing here in Italy? And what do you think should be the best alternative to have local partnerships or for them to enter in the country right now?
We are assisting many international investors looking at Italy and investing in Italy. I must say that Italy is a very transparent market. There are processes that are run, institutionally, and it's therefore pretty easy for an international investor to come in Italy and invest into the country. Sometimes, partnering with someone who has experience in the country may help. It may help because Italy, as every other country, has some specifics. It may be applying the law in a certain way, so complex legislations in certain areas, but it may be also some, more commercial aspects of the country. So certainly partnering with local investors or local players may be a good inroad into investments. But at the same time, having good advisors is another way of addressing these without the need of partnering if this is not in the DNA of the specific investor. So we have seen other investors coming into the market, also first time comers, and doing, very good investments.
Great. Claudio, do you see the country rising more as an investment destination for Europe, or in Europe, Italy as the country that we are talking about?
Italy is certainly a very attractive country for real estate investments nowadays. As opposed to other countries in Europe, I mean, it depends very much on the asset class. For example, if you look at hospitality, which is definitely a hot topic for Italy, but also for other countries, I would name, together with Italy, I would name Greece, Spain, Portugal, and perhaps the south of France for obvious climatic reasons. While if you look, for example, at data center, which is another hot class, as we mentioned before, there are cities like Milan who are attracting a lot of investments, but at the same time, we see investments in Madrid, in Frankfurt, Zurich, uh, Paris, and other European capitals. For retail and offices, it may be more patchy, more opportunistic. So it depends very much, on I would say on the asset class. Certainly, Italy is attracting a lot of capital, as we have seen from the increase of volumes in the first quarter. So definitely is an attractive destination, I would say.
Talking about investments that you speak right now in Southern Europe, right? What is the main goal or the main reason investors for outside Southern Europe or Italy should be looking for this region? Maybe putting together investments between Spain and Italy in the same how can I say that, in the same investments, or in Portugal, to diversify a portfolio that they can bring 2 or 3 countries together. Do you think this is a something good right now to work on? Not looking only to Italy, but is a the full region for Southern Europe. Do you think it should work?
I think mixing Italy with Spain and Portugal is probably not the correct approach, as we're talking about completely two different countries with certain similarities in terms of asset classes, which are hot at the moment, but certainly two different environments. There are certainly investors who look at Europe in a wider way, and they invest in pan-European portfolios of assets covering several jurisdictions, but not necessarily. It depends very much on the approach the investors are taking. There are and the size of deals they need. The amount of capital they need to deploy for each deal. So there are investors who are more granular and they invest into a specific country. Other that have wider strategies and can hedge the risk by buying a pan-European portfolio with assets located in different jurisdictions.
Great. And talk a little bit more about data centers, right? You're saying that maybe it's one of the asset class that investors should look for right now in Italy. Do you think there is a huge opportunity? How you're looking to this asset? How you're seeing the growth? Do you think in 10 years more that's going to be the same boom that we are seeing right now? How do you see data centers in the future in Italy specific?
Data center, as I said, it's really a hot asset class. We are involved currently in many deals, as lawyers, of course, in Italy. Mainly, we're talking about development of new data centers. Certainly, Italy is a market which is still downsized, as opposed to the dimension that it should have according to the foreseen needs of the future. And the currently existing assets are not many. Some of them are, of course, obsolete because technology changes very rapidly. So there is a high demand of new assets which needs to be developed. These attract interest from many different type of investors. We have real estate funds, we have infrastructure funds, we have operators, and we have hyperscalers. All of them are looking at this asset class, in a very active way. It is not very straightforward because it requires experience, knowledge, good diligence on the assets, and patience. And there is scarcity of many resources like power, like experienced engineers, like water, like also plots of land which are suitable for the industry. Now, the demand seems to be increasing, and therefore this would lead to conclude that there will be a huge expansion of data centers. But again, technology is changing very rapidly, so we may meet in a couple of years and take a completely different view. But currently, it certainly is attracting a lot of interest, and there are many, many ongoing deals.
Great. What main companies or profiles do you think for data centers right now Italy is missing? So we are talking about, when you talk about data centers, you have the operations, you have the energy responsibility for that specific asset, then you have the investors. We know that we have many or lots of players interested in that specific asset, but Italy, what is the need right now for data centers go more and more bigger, and we have more data centers assets being developing right now here in the country?
Honestly, I don't think anything is missing in the recipe. I think we have all the things we need to have. Of course, it's a learning curve for the market, which means that the more now we are perhaps lacking a bit of experience, as every other country, because it's a new asset class. So the more people will be skilled, the more there will be growth. There is still availability of land as opposed to other European countries. There is still availability of power as opposed to other European countries. And there is currently an attention to the law and the legislation to, identify even more data center as strategic infrastructures and to simplify the process for authorizing them and developing them. So definitely, I think there are all the ingredients for a successful story. It's just a matter of time.
Why Italy should be in the main view of the international guys or the international investors? Why Italy?
I think Italy is offering a lot nowadays because of being a stable country with increased flow of activity and transactions, and because it attracts, it is a good and fertile land for especially the sectors which are more attractive nowadays, hospitality and digital infrastructure like data centers. So definitely is the country to be investing in.
That's great to hear. Many thanks. Many thanks.
Thank you.